Kelsey, um, you, a few times recently you've been in the room saying, you guys have just been lacking on details. It seems like tonight you really came out strong in every facet and then were able to hold it the whole game. So it must have felt like much more of a complete game.
Small victories. I think in retrospect tonight is what we can focus on and be and live in this moment and stay in this moment for a couple more hours. But I don't think that I need to address the elephant in the room on what's more important and where we need to be. The next couple games, I think that we was a step closer, but in order to be where we need to be for DC and for Minnesota, we got to tap in just a little bit more. I think that they went on a 7-0 run in the end of the second quarter, which is it just tells us that we're not tuned in. So to your point about defensive mindset, we still got these lapses that we got to take care of, but small victories.
Kelsey, through all the ups and downs of this season, and I know you have bigger goals in mind, but the team ensured a 500 finish, back-to-back years doing that. I mean,
it's a big deal.
Right, given everything that this team has gone through this year, and the fact that you guys, I think, are one win away from securing a playoff spot, like, what did it take to kind of stay the course, and what does that mean to just at least get that one thing kind of checked off?
It's definitely a stepping stone in the right direction. I think considering where this organization has been and some of the great players that's come through it, we got to look at this, like I said, for a winning moment tonight. It doesn't happen a lot, and where we've been at, you guys know what it's been like the last couple of years here, and so to see the tables kind of turn, it works in our favor, and I think that we deserve it from a standpoint of we put the work in to be here, and so I like to think that you guys gonna keep sticking it with us too, because you guys deserve it. In order to capture good content and all that, you got to win, and so. I think it goes together as far as both sides, but I think it's definitely important for us to kind of bask in it for a little bit because I remember where this group was. So thank you for saying that, actually.
Kind of just to follow up on that, Steph talks a lot about the resilience of this team, especially in the past month with all of the injuries, with all the hardship players coming in. Just what can you guys say to this resilience over the past month?
That we stay together, that we fight no matter what obstacles come our way. Like we gonna always stick together. Like we know the season been up and down for us, but at the end of the day, we brought in good players that actually helped us out, and that's a good thing right here that we have depth on this team. And the people that we brought in, they've been stepping up and scoring, playing defense, whatever we need them to do, and they've been doing an excellent job. But overall, like Kel said, the job is not done. We still have things that we still need to work on before the playoffs start. We actually want to our main focus is playing defense and stop fouling. We putting teams to the free throw line like almost 30 free throws a game or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, they made 33 free throws, 25 out of 33 free throws, and that's our main thing. Like we need to focus on just playing defense and defense without fouling. So when we get that together, it's gonna be scary for other teams.
Ariel Powers was a plus 20 on the game tonight. What does she bring to the team?
AP is ultimate pro. I think the one thing that we like to think is that when certain people did go down, they brought certain people in. They brought in winners or people who knew how to win or wanted to, and I think that's what you see out of AP. Not only is she, can put the ball in the rim, like you said, we gotta find people that can defend. So many people who ask us questions don't understand that it's two sides to a game. You can't do one without doing the other, and I think that the good thing about AP is that she wants to, and so her having a plus 20 is good for us because not only was she scoring, but she got steals, she got deflection, so that kind of thing keeps us in games and keep our runs going.
For Natasha, you were finding a lot of openings down low and on the sides today, and your teammates were finding you a lot. The assist total was incredibly high, the percentage. Were you really confident you're going to get the ball every time you got a few feet in front of anybody?
No, I just find the scenes. Like, I just read and react off my teammates. It's a village, so it ain't just me. How I play is like how my teammates find me, and just me just moving without the ball in my hand. So that's one thing I'm really good at, and my teammates know that. So they just find me in the right spots, and, I score the book and give them an assist.
Kelsey, one of your teammates said yesterday that you started saying in the huddles, we're all we got, we all we need.
Yeah, so we all we got, we all we need. Yeah.
How did that kind of come about? And do you remember when you started sharing that message?
Probably it might have been after somebody got hurt. I won't even lie to you. It was early on. I think it was when CC got hurt, and I felt like it was deflating. It was hard for people to kind of see us and see our energy for what we brought to the table as a team. Hats off to CC for being a great teammate and having to go through so much with injury. But like the all we got, all we need was it's a staple to who we trying to be as a team and who we want our culture to be. We can't help the ones that's not here, which is unfortunate, but we can help who is and be present about that and not disrespect the game because, I would like to think that CC, Ari, Sid would want to play and be in our shoes. And so I think the all we got, all we need is just, it's kind of like a respect thing, but to put it in the air that we all we got and we all we need because that's how it is and that's how it's always been.
Do you feel like the team's been embracing that message, including the newcomers?
I don't know. Have you embraced the message? Yeah. I don't know. It's good to make everybody feel have a piece of the puzzle and feel good about that piece of the puzzle. So,
This is a team you guys have had success with or against this season, but I mean, obviously today it was a big game. What was just kind of the message, and what do you think of the response the team had? This could have been kind of a game they overlooked or anything to come out and really kind of handle business tonight.
Well, number one, the message was we don't have the option or the luxury to overlook anyone. Like, we've got to, every game matters. We respect everyone and fear no one, and every game matters. And, it was important for us to come out and have a strong start. It was important for us to try to impose our will that way. And, I thought, we did a decent job for the most part. But, there's still a lot of room for growth.
No, you talk about, the resilience of this team a lot, and especially through this past month, just kind of with this win and with Los Angeles loss, you're down to your magic number being 1. Just what does it mean to have, a good shot at the playoffs with a win on Sunday or Tuesday with this kind of team that needs 4 hardship players and has 5 season-ending injuries?
I mean, it says a lot about this group. They're tough-minded. Their next player up mentality. They're playing for each other day in and day out, and not being denied. I think for the core that returned, we talked often about there's no substitute for experience, and this experience of going through this, of continuing to take hits, so to speak, and continue to find ways to win has been important. I think playing with lots of different personnel, being versatile in that way and being flexible in that way is a growing process. I think it shows culturally, and one of the things that we talked about in the offseason was really addressing, bringing in good culture players. And I think culturally you see what kind of players and what kind of team we have because they've been able to do that.
Coach, you often use Kelsey with action starting from the corner, going to end off and a pick and roll. She had 3 assists on those situations today. How is it important for you to get her when she's moving, get her the ball when she's moving?
Yeah, I mean, when she gets going, nobody can stop her. I mean, she's got to be the fastest player in the league with the ball in her hands. I felt like tonight we tried to make more of an effort to get it in the middle of the floor so that she could get in some of those 2-mans, especially the way that they play ball screens. And it's different depending upon who she's on the floor with, where we try to get her the ball and how we start to try to get her in attack. So, for her to have 20 and 8, and it seems like every game we're asking her to do more and more and more, and she just continues to rise to the occasion. And so I'm just so proud of her and the way that she's been able to put us on her back.
Perspective, I'm sure can be hard to take that in the middle of the season in a playoff push.
Yep.
You guys guaranteed a 500 record. I mean, it's the first time to do that in back-to-back seasons since 2015, 2016. And can you guys embrace or feel proud of any of that, or is it just so much focus on on kind of getting through these next few games and trying to get to the playoffs? It's just like the big picture of how far the organization, the franchise has come.
Yeah, and I mean, no, we can't really right now. I think we've got so much more in front of us. Yes, we won the ball game, but I'm not happy that we gave them 33 free throws. I'm not happy that they shot 52% from the floor. I'm not happy that we didn't do our job closing up when their bigs got the ball. I mean, these are all areas that we've got to continue to get better to do what we want to do. The record is great, and I'm proud of this group for continuing to push through and to find a way to get to this point. But there's more in us. That's part of our job as coaches is to bring out the absolute most in your team. And there's more in us, and we have to be better. We have to be better Sunday against Washington. And we have to be better to do what we want to do to get to the postseason and in the postseason. So after the season, I'm sure when we reflect, we'll be able to come from a different perspective. But right now, we're hungry for more.
You mentioned that the culture and the plan in the offseason and how hard the front office worked to gather everybody with that. But then a lot of those players aren't able to play right now, and you've had to pick up people on the fly. How has it worked so well for them, the new people, to blend into the culture and make such contributions like even what we saw today with Odyssey and Ariel? Yeah,
I think first and foremost, again, you go back to the culture of the group that we brought in and how embracing they are, how much they're empowering our new players to do what they do best, how flexible they are to adjusting and adapting their games to our new guys, because our new guys aren't going to learn our entire system in a week or 2 weeks or a day. It's just they're not going to learn all the things that we do. So we have to adjust how we play. And, AB in particular has been affected the most when you think about taking away all the people who space the floor for her and allow her to do what she does best. And she's continued to be positive, and she's continued to be vocal, and she's continued to go with the flow, for lack of a better term. Tosh too. I mean, Tosh has been affected by it as well. One of Tosh's greatest strengths is her off-ball cutting. You got to have floor spacers so that you can off-ball cut. And when no Caitlin and no Sophie and, no Ari and Sid out there, it's been different. But they both found their ways to be effective with our new pieces. And our job as coaches is to get these new pieces in positions to be successful. So for Odyssey, it's to get downhill, right? Finding ways for her to get downhill. For Shay, she's deadly from the corner three. How can we continue to get her spots and get her shots in from the corner? AP is an energy player. So how do we put her in position with those that she's playing with to be that energy player and do what she does best? So there's had to be a lot of flexibility as much as resilience. And again, I go back to just the core of who these players are, and the fact that they can sacrifice everything else for the betterment of the team.
Steph, we got looped in with Kelsey's "we're all we got, we're all we need" kind of mentality when she was in here. Following up on what you just said there, it sounds like the mindset is to maximize everything that we can out of the 9, 10, 10 and a half that we have right now for this day, for this game. Is that kind of where this is headed for the rest of this run? Absolutely.
That's all we can do, right? It's all we can do. It's one day at a time, and it started yesterday with our preparation. It's today with this win, and then it's tomorrow with our preparation again. I mean, Washington is a team that we've had some problems with. They're a team that really executes well on the offensive end of the floor. We've got to be really disciplined, and so we'll turn the page tonight, and we'll focus again one day at a time and being the best team that preps for an opponent tomorrow, and we'll continue to take it like that. You can't look too far ahead. You can't think down the road. You can't trip on anything that's behind us. We got to be solely focused on the next moment.
You talked about Aliyah. How do you view her playmaking progression this season?
I think she's been great. We've asked a lot of her, and she's delivered. I think that there were times early in the year where we needed her to score more. She's almost taken the playmaking like too literal, and now she's back to doing a little bit of both. I always say to AB, I'd like for her to take 2 or 3 threes a game. I think that she's got that, in her arsenal, and we want her to continue to do that. But again, she's continued to step up to the challenge, continued to be exactly what we need, and been a calming voice on the floor for our team, and that's been important.